Hello, everyone. Guess who's back? Megan Lynn, your certified abundant life coach, money saving maven, and debt free diva. How is everyone doing today? Whew, got a lot done today. Feeling good. Today, I'm here to talk to you about your top 5. What do I mean by this? I am referring to the people you hang around the most. It has been said that we become similar to the 5 people we spend the most time with. And I believe it. Over the years, I've experienced a lot with relationships and people as far as family relationships, romantic relationships, friendships, casual meet and greet kind of relationships, acquaintances and whatnot. And I have definitely felt the effects, good or bad, of the people that I spend the most time with. I feel it's really, really important that we pay attention to that and recognize what an impact people can have. So I ask you today and for the next several weeks to really consider who you're spending time with and how you're spending and what you're exactly getting out of that time and relationship. One thing for sure is that time is our greatest asset. It's a non-renewable resource. You can't get it back. You can kill it. You can waste it. You can do a lot of things with it, but you can't get it back once it's gone. So it is really, really important to guard your time and really pay attention to who around you is influencing you, your children, your important people in your life. So again, unpacking that, how do you spend your time and who do you spend your time with? Who are your top 5 and how are they influencing your life? Are they sewing into your life, like a best friend who's maybe always supportive or there when you need them? Do they encourage you? Maybe a boss at work who's always encouraging you, helping you. Maybe they're not always encouraging you and you need to spend a little more time or put a little more distance. What about romantic relationships? How are they affecting your life? How are they affecting the lives of the people around you? Like your children or your other family members, and how can you make sure that you're making the right choices as far as your top 5. One thing I like to pay attention to as far as my top 5 is how do I feel around the people who I'm around most? Do I feel positive? Do I feel drained? Do I feel happy and excited when I know I'm going to spend time with them? Or do I feel like, oh, not again, not today, not right now? And of course, these feelings can change for different reasons. Occasionally, you just might not feel like talking to your mother. Just not the moment. Sometimes you might avoid your boss because you're like, oh, shoot, I didn't get that project done yet. Oh, gosh, they're always breathing down my neck. But maybe that's a good thing because they're, trying to get you to be accountable. How do the people around you affect you emotionally? And that is a really, really good barometer as far as whether they're the right people or not. Also, what are you sewing into them? How are you affecting them? But for right now, we'll keep it simple and just say, how are they affecting you? Who are your people? Who do your people need to be? And how could things be better if you had different people or subtracted different people in your life? Hey, Great Bear. Good to see ya. We got to catch up. So again, if you're just coming on, I'm talking about the top 5 people in your life. And by top 5, I mean the people that you spend the most time with and how they affect you and your life, whether positive or negative. It is said that we become similar to the people we spend the most time with. So, how do the people you spend the most time with affect you, positive or negatively, and how can we make better choices in the amount of time and energy we put into other people and allowing other people's energies to be around us? As I was saying before, I gauge that question as far as what they're sewing into me, how I feel around them, is the relationship one-sided or is it two-sided, meaning it's kind of a little bit of a give and take. It's never take. You know, we all had those friends who they're just always asking for something, but they're never there when you need them. That's not someone that you would want to spend most of your time with. Also, maybe family members. Just because you live in the same house or just because you're related by blood doesn't necessarily mean that you should always spend the most time with those people. If the relationship is a quality one, if you're sewing into each other, if it's a give and take most of the time, then absolutely those people can be part of your top 5. But if they're not sewing into you positively, if you're not learning or growing, if they're not maybe being the best they can be, perhaps think about putting a little distance between you and that person, whether it's family, friends, relatives, acquaintances, people at work. Again, if it's not a positive interaction that's almost always a two-way street that you're learning and growing from, you will pick up positive and or negative influences from the people you hang around with most. So that's why I say it's very important. I didn't always realize this, and I used to hang out with people just for something to go do. And of course, you know, you go out on a Saturday night, you just want to have fun with friends and whatnot, and different people invite different people to a party, or maybe you're out at dinner and people come over to talk to you. And there's nothing wrong with just some social interaction, but if you start hanging out with people and getting a certain feeling or like, oh man, I don't know, like every time I see that person, I just get a negative vibe, or they're always complaining about something and they're, you know, their life isn't that bad or whatever. I really try to pay attention, again, to how people make me feel when I'm around, and choose specifically to hang out with people who are maybe headed in my direction. Maybe not exact details, but someone who is maybe working on a business, someone who is really close to their family and prioritizes time with them and, you know, always tries to choose what's right for them and their family. Hey, nice. Glad you guys are joining. Thank you. Again, just recognizing what that person is emitting as far as their energy and what direction they're going in and what you can gain from them as far as advice or just good energy. If they're going in the same direction as far as, you know, they've already achieved multiple businesses, you know, you're going to have better conversations and gain more out of someone who's working to improve themselves than you will an acquaintance, you know, someone at work, or someone who you're used to hanging out with who maybe isn't going in the same direction as you. You're not going to gain as much, you know. And by gain, I don't mean, you know, material things. I mean their energy, their advice, their ability to sow into you, and your relationship is going to be affected by their choices, their energy, and who they are as a person. Now, people go through different phases in life where, you know, maybe at a certain phase they weren't doing that well, and maybe, you know, I'm not saying we need to abandon our friends, coworkers, family members if they're not in a great place right now. Absolutely not. I'm simply saying be very, very careful who you spend your time with, especially when you're trying to up-level yourself, you're trying to be healthier, you're trying to work on time management, maybe start a business, get your own ish together. You want to hang out with people and spend more time with people who are doing the same kind of things, or at least living their life in integrity and can guide you in the right direction and just be in the energy of positivity. So I'll ask you again, and I'd like you to, moving forward, ask yourself, who are the people I'm spending the most time with? Is it a positive interaction most of the time? Are we sewing into each other? And how are the people I'm spending the most time with affecting me? Is it a positive interaction? Is it a negative interaction? Are we learning and growing by spending time together? Or could your time be spent with someone else who's perhaps a little bit further along in a career, who maybe has things together a little bit more and has more to offer you in the way of advice, or just plain old positive energy where you're going to pick up on their energy, they're going to pick up on your energy, and you're going to be happier and more satisfied with your time in that relationship. So again, over the next couple weeks, I'd like you to ask yourself, who's my top 5? Who are my top 5 influencers as far as the people I spend the most time with? Am I making the best choice? Hey, Alec, thanks for joining. We're talking about your top 5, the people you spend the most time with, and how that can affect positive or negative your life. Because let's be honest, you can lose material things and gain them again. You can make more money if you need it. You can go out, and get most of the things you need, but you cannot get your time back. So it's so important to spend time with quality people. Recognize when you're spending your time with people, maybe out of habit, whether it's old relationships or family members feeling obligated to, go have dinner every Sunday because that's what you've always done. There's nothing wrong with creating a new routine if you're trying to work on yourself and spend time around people who are more positive, who are possibly going in the same direction as you, who you can learn from, who are supportive of you. If the people you're currently hanging out with, if your top 5 aren't doing those things, that doesn't mean they're not good people. Maybe they're working on themselves. Maybe they don't realize they need to be in a different space. What I'm trying to say is, be careful who you spend your time with, because we really are influenced by the people around us. Over the next couple weeks, take your time, look around, really think about who you're spending time with and analyze it. Take it apart and ask yourself, who can I be spending time, or where can I be spending my time to achieve more positive results in life, to maybe gain some knowledge of someone who's a little further ahead as far as their career, or a path that you're looking to go down. Who are your top 5? Who should you be hanging out with? And how can you be a better member of the top 5 for other people? Are you sewing into your relationships? Are you checking on people? Are you offering a hand when you know someone needs help? Are you focusing on positive or negative things? And how is your energy? That's also another good question to ask yourself. How's your energy, and how are you affecting the people that you hang around with most? Hopefully it's in a positive way. And if not, then maybe correct that. How can you be more positive, and how can you be more helpful? Who should we be spending our time with? How is our time best spent, whether it's with others, whether it's with positive people, whether it's withdrawing some of our time from negative people or energy drainers, what do they call it? Energy vampires. Some people are very needy. Maybe they're at a point in their life where, they need to talk, but you're always the one, and they never listen to your advice. Perhaps don't pick up the phone next time. Protect your energy and your time, because maybe you're trying to work on a business, or you're trying to do something with your children, and that person always calls and needs something, always calls and asks for advice, and then doesn't do anything that you suggested anyway. Protect your time. I have a question. What do you think about diets? Are we talking about eating healthy? I was really talking about, this time I was talking about spending time with who are your top 5 people you spend time with and how they affect you. If you mean how they affect who you're hanging out with and how they affect your diet, well, that's a good one as well. I know sometimes when I go out with friends, maybe we have a couple alcoholic beverages. Some people want to order all kinds of extra appetizers, or I'm always the one to say, hey, I want dessert. So maybe I'm not a good influence as far as that goes, if you're talking about diets. That's another thing. If you're trying to eat healthy and you always have friends who want to go out and, go on a beer bender and have all kinds of bad food, it's not that you can't spend time with them, but are they respectful of your choices? Hey guys, you know what? I'm not drinking this week. I'm trying to save some calories, or no, I'm just going to order a salad. Are they respectful of that? Or are they like, oh, come on, have a cheesesteak. It's not a big deal. How are your top 5 people you hang out with most affecting you? It's a good question to ask. Like I said, I hadn't always thought about it, and now I am definitely more cognizant and more intentional on who I spend my time with, because it does affect me so greatly. So over the next couple weeks, I dare you to ask yourself the same question. Also ask yourself, how are you affecting the people that you hang around with most, and how could you be better? Thank you guys. Talk to you again soon. Take care.